Okay, please introduce yourself.
So my name is Shandia Ky Shabazz. Everybody calls me Ky for short. Here at Dress for Success, my role is branch manager, and I've been working with the organization for about 14 years now.
Okay. Um, I'd like to ask you about your educational background.
So my educational background is I have an associate's degree from LaGuardia Community College. Was a single mom, so I just completed the associate's degree and then took all the time to invest in my child.
Wonderful. Since you mentioned a child, I want to ask you about your childhood. Leadership opportunities. Were you involved in any kinds of groups or organization, or did you have religious affiliations that allowed you to develop leadership qualities in your youth?
Okay, so as what you would call a military brat, my dad was a senior master sergeant in the Air Force. So he was sort of the epitome of leadership. So I saw that as I grew up and all of the values that are instilled within a leader as leading other people. And one of the things that he always impresses that you're a servant leader. You're here to serve other people, but yet you lead. Grandmother, very deep into the church. So watched her be a leader, not only in the church, but then within the community as well. Being involved in any community activities, the community boards, anything that had to do with the youth, whether it was youth baseball or the Girl Scouts. So growing up, I had a lot of different role models of leaders. And then also, I would say with my dad dying when I was 16 years old, my mom stepping up and becoming much more of a leader than what she thought she was. Like that, for her to be able to embrace the ideal that she became a leader in the absence of my dad. And even when I talk to my mom now, she'll be 91 in November. When I say, well, Mommy, you're a leader, she doesn't see herself. That generation of women, most of them did not see themselves as leaders.
Right.
Things that they did, that's what society said that they had to do. And so they didn't sort of fit comfortably into calling themselves leaders. But right now the world is just busted open. So I think now women we're leaders right from birth.
Absolutely. So I'm curious as to, I'm sure you embrace leadership mantle in your multifaceted role with Dress for Success. Can you talk, as well as some of the community projects you're involved in, can you talk to me about your own embrace of being a leader and what leadership qualities you feel that you possess and how they are demonstrated in your work?
Okay, so with leadership, I think that it's not something that you turn on. It's not something you turn on and turn off. So the same principles of leadership that you utilize at work, you utilize in your home life as well. So here with my role, I have many different sort of hats that I wear under the title of leader. One, working with our warehouse staff, that's one set of responsibilities I have. And in leading them to run a well-efficient warehouse, getting in new staff, training them, whether it be men or women coming to work in the warehouse, and then also instilling the fact that they're leaders as well. I'm not the only leader. There's multiple leaders. They don't work for me. We work together. And we like everybody to see the leader in them. Whether the employees are coming in, they're working with volunteers, you're the leader. Whether you're working with interns, you're the leaders, you're the role models, you're mentors. When you're going out to the community, you're leaders as well. Working in the boutique with women, one-on-one, I would say that the best thing about this job and working here 14 years, it gives me the opportunity to see how strong women are. Women from all backgrounds, just very diverse in size, in age, in color, and cultural background, and how, we're more alike than we are different.
Yes.
And now we're coming into the age where women culturally didn't see themselves as leaders because men were traditionally leaders of the home. Or if a woman was too much of, seeing herself as a leader, you were sometimes bossy, or people like, oh, I don't want to work for her. She's some sort of way. Where now women are beginning to look at each other and say, not only I'm a leader, but we are a leader, and feel very confident in it. And realizing that any situation they've gone through, how do you look at yourself and see the leader in that situation? And how do you constantly upskill yourself, sort of relaunch yourself, and feel comfortable in being that leader. Women are not naturally boastful. You know, you get a man in front of you, they're like, oh, got all the skills. Yeah, I'm a leader. You get women, whether they're younger or whether they're older, some are very uncomfortable with assuming that role or having somebody call them a leader because they feel that people are going to put them sort of in another class. With a lot of the women that now you see in media, right, who are representing women as leaders, I think women are feeling more comfortable about it, even culturally, where you had women who would not speak up. They're now taking that lead and owning it and feeling comfortable with it. They are then pushing that down to their daughters and their sons. You know what a leader really looks like. So that has been really great. And then going out to the community, I think one of the things that a leader definitely has to embrace is if you are not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So when I'm out in the community, whether it's representing Dress for Success or just community issues in my own neighborhood, I walk in and I'm like, okay, I'm a leader. I'm going there. My voice is important. It deserves to be heard. And that I bring value. I definitely bring value and worth to wherever it is that I am, but also being respectful of other women and other people and other opinions. And so we've always been leaders, but now people are coining the phrase, I'm a leader. We've always been leaders.
Well, I'd like to ask you how your opinion of leadership orientation might have changed over time, because I think that it's interesting that you make the point that we're in a different moment now where women are embracing the notion of running things and not necessarily downplaying their skills, but at the same time there's leadership, there's followership, so you have to navigate in the world. So I'm curious as to how your thoughts on that, how it's changed over time.
So I think that we began to understand sort of what leadership means. So you can lead up or you can lead down, right? So, it's a two-way thing, and you have to know when to lead up, when to lead down. Also, you have to realize that as a leader and how things are changed, especially with social media, that you're always out there.
Right.
So it's about who you are, your personal branding, wherever you carry yourself with, people will look at you and perceive who you are, right? And what you do. And you always want to be in a position as a leader to be in a positive light, where people will look at you. There's also other qualities of a leader where now women are more mentors. We talk about mentorship. We talk about coaching. We talk about women saying, okay, fine, I'm not getting paid, pay inequality, right? A man coming in and creating his own position where there was no position before. And a woman would sort of sit on the side and wait for, I've got my annual review.
Right.
Maybe somebody's going to look at me and say, hey, I'm going to be in this position. So a lot of our women now, their eyes are open to the possibilities. If there's no position, create that position. Tell people what your worth is. And how it has changed is that people are listening. And then there are now a lot more women leaders who are willing to turn around and say, somebody helped me to get here, or let me help you navigate where I am. There's plenty of roles for us all. But whatever position you are in, see yourself as a leader first, and then be able to begin to climb that ladder. There's still a glass ceiling that you hit, but we're breaking through it, and we're becoming more comfortable with it. And the great thing is it's women of all sizes, shape, hues, backgrounds, right, are willing to turn around and say, hey, I'm more like you than I am different, and we're helping each other. We open the conversation and we're more willing to discuss what do we need to do to get to the next level. And then, cheering each other on like that as leaders and not sort of downplaying people.
Okay. The last thing I guess I want to ask is, I'm hearing what you're saying, but I'm thinking that although we would always like for things to be onward, upward, huzzah, everything's going well, an important aspect of leadership, I think, is the ability to be resilient if something goes wrong. So would you mind sharing with me and our esteemed watchers an example of maybe a leadership mistake and how you learned from, maybe earlier in your career and how you learned from it, and just what you might say about resiliency as core to leadership.
So one of the words I'll change real quick is you said mistake.
Okay.
I think it's misstep.
Misstep.
I'll take a misstep. And so resiliency is definitely the thing, because we're trying different waters. We're definitely trying different waters when we begin to navigate it. And there's always the opportunity when you're out there and you're putting yourself out there at the next level that it won't go the way that you planned it to go. And that everybody's not rah-rah, you know, hey, we're going to embrace this, because it's changed. It's changed, especially in the workplace. It has changed. It's changed not only in the workplace, it's changed in the churches, it's changed in the community. And so you definitely have to be resilient. I always tell people, take a moment, sort of digest it. The misstep, what did you learn from it? Right? Because that misstep is just a step to get to the next level, where you've got to then take that back, sort of analyze that misstep that you made. One, look where you're accountable. What can you do, right? Because I always tell people about lifelong learning. Always be open to learning something new. Always be open to the fact that, you know, don't wait till a situation comes up to say, I'm going to learn then. Learn prior. Also, we don't do anything by ourselves. You need to have that trusted circle of people around you, and you need to have people around you who not only will help uplift you, but support you, but will also push you and challenge you, right? And I tell people, you know, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is life. We're not going to get a do-over. So if you don't try it, right, that in itself, if you don't try for those other opportunities, that's a misstep, right? So you get out there and you try, and if it does not work out, then you try again, right? You try again, you constantly reinvent yourself. You know, you take your moment when you know, you may land on your behind. Take a moment, sort of look at it, talk to those trusted group that you have around you, and then make a plan and stick with the plan. And sometimes it's a little bit harder than you would think. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than you would think. But the thing is, you know, as long as you wake up the next day, try again, try a different way. Talk to people, talk out, you know, what your plans are. And then definitely have those steps, give yourself benchmarks so that you don't say, okay, fine, in 20 years, I'm going to do this. That you give yourself benchmarks that will also challenge you. And then have accountability partners. And then wherever you go in the world of leadership and as with women, always know that there are other women that are going to go on their journey as well. Turn around and teach them from the missteps that you may have made so that they can navigate those waters a bit more smoothly. But I'm super excited where we are for women and girls. Like that, for women and girls, because it starts with us putting that into our girls now, right? Society is changing. We have not only, you know, we've got more definitions. We got women and we got girls. We have our whole LGBTQIA, etc. community who identify as women. And this is a full group that also are women. They're looking to move forward as leaders. There are other challenges that they face as well. But the good thing is, it's on the table. We're talking about it. We're being very supportive of it. And so I see that still the skies are the limits with women as leaders. And as you know, I've grown more confident over the years. And as I've got older and I've got wiser, I am very hopeful and I'm very excited about what the future holds for our women and our girls in the world of leadership.
Well, thank you, Ky.
You're welcome.
I appreciate this time. I'm going to stop my camera now.
Okay.